From the age of 11, when I started my periods, I used to get really heavy, painful periods. I'd like leak through my clothes playing football and being like quite a significant amount of pain and get really bad symptoms compared to my friends. And I always used to think that maybe I was being a bit dramatic, and I was always told, oh, it's normal. And obviously, it's not normal to have period pain that impacts your day. Anyway, so I went back and forth to the doctors for quite a long time. And then at the age of 16, I was told that I had polycystic ovary syndrome. And it continued then with being put on different pills and different things like that. And then had like an ultrasound done, and they found like a polyp in my womb. And then I had a surgery for that. And still at that point, I wasn't diagnosed with endometriosis. I was still diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, which that itself has quite a significant impact on people's lives anyway. Then again, I just kept having these heavy bleeds. They'd put a Mirena coil in. Nobody had explained why they'd put the Mirena coil in. I kept bleeding for like a year straight every day. Then they finally put me in for a laparoscopy. I think must have been 2021 by this point. So I'd gone from 11 years old trying to get some form of diagnosis. Obviously, I'd been diagnosed with the polycystic ovaries, but I knew there was something else going on as well. So I had the surgery then, and then they diagnosed me with endometriosis then. I'd never heard of polycystic ovary syndrome, and I'd never heard of endometriosis. I didn't actually understand what was wrong with me because you don't learn it at school. Nobody tells you that. You basically get taught at school, oh, you're going to have a period and then you're going to have a baby, which isn't the reality of it's not the truth. I mean, so many people don't get to that stage. So for me, I was like really confused because I didn't have a clue what this disease was or what either of them were. So, and then it took me from, after I had that first surgery, I then had altogether, I've had 11 surgeries, and I'm on an urgent waiting list now for my 12th because the endometriosis, they think it's on my lung. So I'm still, because of the pandemic, I'm on quite a long waiting list. It's hard because it impacts everything in your life. It's impacted me financially. I see all my friends around me, they all have bought houses and things like that. I ended up behind with that because I'd lost so much money in my early 20s. So then you're playing catch up with everybody. Everyone around you is having children, and I'm at a stage now where I've been told that it's very unlikely that I can't have children. So then you start to beat yourself up thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, you don't feel like a woman because you've lost that part of you. And I've always wanted a family, but now I've had to accept that that's not going to probably happen. I have concerns for my life in the future because polycystic ovary syndrome, in later life, it puts you at risk of things like diabetes, heart disease, various different things. It impacts your weight, your blood pressure, all these different things. And it also puts you at higher risk of getting womb cancer. So there's that aspect of things for the polycystic ovaries. And then in regards to the endometriosis, I think, especially now it's potentially on my lung, the research should help people to understand, and doctors understand, that it is a whole body disease. And they do say that endometriosis acts in the same way as a cancer, but it just doesn't obviously kill you. It attacks your tissue and your organs in the same way. And I think for me, it would be that understanding, and me, and for a lot of people I support as well, is people don't understand the severity of the diseases, like either of them, polycystic ovaries or endometriosis, and it would be nice for them to be taken seriously, and because they lead to other diseases as well. I think endometriosis, both of them on their own, are quite serious, what they can do to your body, and trying to get that understanding from the public and from medical professionals. If there was more research into it, we might be able to find out what causes the diseases, because we don't know what causes endometriosis, especially we don't understand the disease. The specialists, even the top specialists, don't know what causes the disease. They just can they are just qualified. They just know how to remove it, but nobody knows how to prevent it coming back, or nobody understands the way that it really progresses itself and why it spreads to all these different organs and causes damage. So for us to actually, I think it would be easier to accept having the disease if you knew what caused it in the first place.